Okay, so welcome to episode 3 of Collab, and today I'm joined by a very special guest who needs no introduction because she is an absolute goat in the world of property management.
Thank you.
And that's Heidi Russell of Little Bird, which is a specialist property management only business based in Canberra. So welcome, Heidi.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's really exciting to be here. I've never done a podcast before, so...
Well, I'm glad I can be the first one with you.
Yeah, good one. Canberra one, yay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Canberra PMs, I think we well and truly punch above our weight across the national, don't we?
Absolutely. I think we really are like the leaders in how things are done across the country.
Not that we're biased.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Maybe a smidge.
Well, I think you have lots of reason to have that position because you have won a million awards over the years.
A few. Yeah.
And been in business, you've just celebrated 10 years.
Yes, so 10 years of Little Bird, which has been so fun and it's gone super quick.
I bet.
And it's been a really crazy ride, but super rewarding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So I want to hear today all about, I guess, the Little Bird journey. I'd love to hear about your journey pre-Little Bird and what brought you into wanting to do your own business and the way in which you've structured it. And also, I guess, some of the measures you've had for success, because I know in property management there's lots of ways we measure success. Often that's numbers and growth and revenue, but I think looking from the outside, looking into your business, success, I would say, is a lot more than that.
Yeah.
So I'd love to unpack that with you today.
Yeah, okay. All right.
So let's start with you. Pre-Little Bird, what was the journey that actually brought you to that point?
So I always had an interest in real estate. Yeah. My mum was always someone to go around to open homes and things like that and drag me along with as a kid. When I was quite young, I had a rental property myself. So I was in my early 20s and bought an investment, which I interviewed property managers at the time. And being really young and meeting these property managers that came across as kind of, not to be rude, but like old and cranky. I was like, oh, I just don't think I'd rent from them. So let's have a go at doing it myself. So I did. And I mean, it was crazy now when I think about it, what I know now, what I didn't know then, and how thankfully it worked out okay. And then I had a hospitality background. So I was working in hotels and hotel management.
Oh, cool.
And I kind of got a bit over those hours. It was like, 60-hour weeks plus.
Yeah.
I had 2 small kids,
Yeah.
And I really just wanted a 9 to 5. So I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to go and work in an office. Real estate sounds pretty 9 to 5 to me.
Yeah.
Little did I know. And yeah, that's kind of how it started. I applied for, I quit my hotel management job like pretty much straight away.
Okay.
And so I was like, yeah, I'm going to take 4 weeks and just, see how it goes. And then I was bored after 2 days. So then I pretty much begged into my first job in real estate. It was for a property management admin.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I really want to be a property manager. And I remember the principal, and if he listens to this, he'll know exactly who I'm talking about him. And he said, there's no glory in property management. And I was like, oh, that's okay. Yeah, cool. No worries. I just really like to meet people and do those things. And he was like, yeah, well, it's an admin job and we don't, he really played it down.
Interesting.
Anywho, moving along. So I worked there for 6 months. When I left there to actually get a property manager's job, he gave me flowers and was really sad. And apparently that never happened with anyone else that left. So I felt really...
That's really nice.
Yeah, it was nice about that. Anyway, so then I started Blackshaw.
Yeah.
And I was there for, 15 solid years.
It's a long time.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
And it was my place. I learned so much there, worked with so many people that taught me so many things. The Blackshaws obviously, themselves gave me the opportunity to start with, which I'm very grateful for now. And that's kind of
the journey.
Yeah. And then Little Bird, that just came out of, wanting to do something that was mine, mainly, and also wanting to do something that put property management on a little bit of a pedestal.
Yeah.
I always felt like it was always a little bit of a sidekick to sales, and that sales was the most important thing. And when you're working in those environments, it's a little bit flattening sometimes.
Of course, yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to give this a go.
Yeah, and here we are 10 years later.
Yeah, 10 years later. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So I want to rewind for a second. You talked about 15 years with an agency, the Black Shores in Canberra, which is an exceptional business, and the opportunities you're grateful for. So I know a lot of property managers get busy being busy in their role, right?
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we lose sight of the bigger picture and the opportunities. From your experience at these various roles and in your own business, what can opportunities look like for property managers, do you think?
There's huge opportunity for property managers. I think if you're the type of person that wants to grow and be better and make money, and essentially we're not doing it for fun, we're doing it to make money.
Of course.
Property management's a great job to do it
Yeah.
in. And I think I saw that within the network that I work for, lots of successful agents, and I wanted that too.
Yeah. I think we get hung up on titles a lot in property management.
A little bit.
Yeah, and so I think before we started recording, we were talking about pathways and being a small specialist property management business, the challenge you sometimes have to, as people grow, when people are working in smaller rent rolls and smaller businesses, which is, you know, the standard across Australia. What advice, I guess, would you give to people who want the next challenge? If there's not a role, how can they still continue to grow and upskill themselves in their business?
I think letting your director know that, you know, and being engaged to be more involved in the business. And I think that's really key. I mean, I have Emily who started, she had, you know, a year or so experience in leasing and things like that. But she's my team leader now. And so she started off as a PA essentially, and just, you know, learning the ropes and doing the inspections and doing all that running around sort of thing. But she just showed that initiative. And I think it's important if that's what you want to do, to show that initiative, to learn other things about the business, not just stay in your little portfolio and just do that. Like it's nice to, I love it when my staff are like, oh, so how about I do this, or we can do some social media, you know, those sorts of things I love.
Yeah.
And it just shows to me that, you know, there is room to grow.
Absolutely.
And if you've got that drive, you can do it.
Yeah. Agreed. And I mean, you
can do it with a business or without, you know, like I did. You don't need to have a franchise. You just need to have something in you that makes you want to be successful.
The initiative, yeah. Absolutely. And Emily's a great example of, I think, a real estate success story.
Absolutely.
Who has come through the ranks and is, you know, really a well-regarded professional.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what
I'm
we
so
need
proud
to see
of her.
more of. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm so proud that I'm going to take the for training her and whatever. But
you should be. Though.
Yeah, she's a real gem, and I think she's a prime example of someone starting fresh in the industry and doing really, really well.
Yeah, because it can be, if people want it to be, a lifelong career.
Absolutely.
You can. I'm still learning 18 years in.
Yeah, exactly.
I imagine you are too.
Absolutely. Every day is different.
Yeah.
And you think, oh, I've seen it all, but then something happens, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's new. I haven't done that before. Haven't heard of that. So it's ever changing, which is the fun part.
Yeah. I agree. And talk to me about, obviously you specialise in property management at Little Bird. Over the years, you've had so much success. You've got obviously a lot of loyal clients, a very loyal team. Have you ever felt the temptation or the pressure to expand your service offering?
Yeah, have. I'm constantly asked, when are you going to do sales? I'm a salesperson. You need one. Let's work together. Those types of opportunities, but it's just not what I'm about. Property management, I have to, because it's tempting, right? Because they're selling, the money's good, you know, I guess.
Yeah.
But then there's extra pressures as well. It's not something that we're trained in. So I kind of feel like it's two different skill sets, and we're not skilled in that.
Yeah.
We
Stick
just
to your swim lane.
correct.
Yeah.
Just run your own race.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in that one.
Yeah.
I don't, and I also don't like never say never, but I don't think we'll ever do sales.
Yeah.
It's just not our thing, not our jam. We've done a couple, and we all hated it every minute.
Why did you make the exception for those couple?
We were basically begged,
Yeah.
right? Oh, please, you know the property so well, and da-da-da. And we're like, yeah, okay, all right, we'll do it. And then and this client was the loveliest landlord for many years. But the minute she had the vendor hat on and we had this, it was a different story. We just didn't have that same level of trust.
Yeah.
And fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't know what we were doing. She knew that at the beginning, but I think it's out there in the world, people don't necessarily think that selling is very difficult, but it absolutely is. Absolutely, completely different. And we know that that's not our thing.
Yeah. The lessons we learn, right?
Yeah.
Tempting though. I mean, I know again from being in the Canberra community, you get a lot of inbound referrals, and I imagine in the absence of having sales, you've probably got some quite strong referral partnerships back out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How have you developed those over the years? Like, what do you look for?
Well, look, I think when I first started, there was so much support for me and Little Bird to begin with, and I had the pleasure of working with so many sales agents. So when that first started, and a lot of those agents had gone out on their own as well and were only doing sales. So it kind of worked well that I wasn't a competitor and could offer their clients a service. So those relationships have kind of just were built years before Little Bird. So moving forward, it's just something that's also, I answer their tricky questions.
Yeah.
I get calls from the most random people I've never met.
I bet you do.
Yeah, and be like, hey, so I've got this sale and the tenant this, and and I'm happy to answer the questions and give the advice. And I think that, and I don't do it for any reason other than to help someone out.
Of course.
But, on the backside, I'm the person they think of if they want someone to manage a property. Yeah, it is. It's great. And what I'm seeing now, 10 years down the track, is my property managers are also getting those calls and questions and referrals.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's working. Yeah, they know.
The culture.
They know how to answer. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And they know it's not like, in terms of culture, it's not I don't view it, the profession or the industry as a competition.
Yeah.
There's plenty of business for everybody, and if everybody just helps everybody out, then it just raises the bar.
Yeah.
And I've always had that mentality, and my property managers and my team now all think the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. I think there's, as an industry, naturally there's competition. That's any industry. But I think we're very fortunate, particularly in Canberra as an industry for property management. I feel like we have this really great supportive network of people that, like, I've called you over the years, and everyone looks out for each other, I think, in PM world, which is really nice. Yeah,
it is. And it, like, when you've just got something tricky or you've got a difficult person, it's nice to be able to just ring someone and go, hey, so just running this off you. I do it too.
Yeah. So I've always observed you. I mean, it's crazy. We were saying before we started recording, we've worked in the industry for
so long,
18-ish years at the same time,
and this is probably the longest time we've talked to each
other, which is strange, but here we are. I've always observed you as a very humble, no-nonsense leader who kind of is driven by integrity. In terms of how you then apply. Hey, Ellie. In terms of how you apply that to your leadership style, what would you describe your leadership style as being?
My leadership style? I don't really know. I think I am always very upfront.
Yeah.
And as you said, no nonsense is probably a good way to describe it. I always lead by example. If I wouldn't do something, I don't expect the team to do it. And if I wouldn't deal with a client, I don't expect them to either. And I think this is probably something that I learned over the years, because sometimes you're in a situation where you just have to manage the client because that's what you're told to do. Whereas I like to say to my team, look, it's up to you.
Yeah.
If the
That's
client,
so empowering.
If the client's difficult and we can't work with them on it, well, then you decide if they stay or go.
That's amazing.
If they're not fitting in with our values, then
make a call.
Yeah.
That's, I imagine that's so empowering and quite unique still in the industry, that the leaders giving the autonomy and the decision to their people, because a bad client can really make or break a PM's experience.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, and the clients are great, and we have some actually amazing clients in Little Bird business, but not everyone fits. And that's okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And we don't have to try to make it work.
Yeah.
And it's better for everyone if it's just
Agreed. Yeah. And in terms of attracting the right clients for your values and for what you're trying to achieve, what does that look like? I mean, you guys obviously maintain really strong fees, and deliver an amazing service. But when you go out to pitch and you've got half a dozen agents you're competing with, how does Little Bird stand out? Because you consistently beat others at those listing presentations.
Yeah, it's getting increasingly more difficult because people are very price sensitive. So it really, you know, I do most of the listing. So I'm going out, and for me, I'm looking at obviously the property, like how much time is this actually going to take to manage? Just having conversations with clients regarding, you know, maintenance and just getting a vibe overall. You know, and I say to people when I book in, well, I need to come out and see the property and see if it's suitable for us. They're seeing if we're suitable for them, but I also want to make sure that's the right fit. Definitely. And sometimes you just can't tell.
No, of course
you think it's good, and then it's not.
Yes.
Or you think it's not, and it's like, oh, it's on the line, and it turns out to be fine. Yeah. So it is a judgment call, but I think after 25 years, you can pick up. There's just things you can pick up and go, this is not for us.
Yeah.
But like I said, sometimes you just don't know.
No. Yeah. Sometimes we do get it wrong. Certainly been guilty of that over the years.
Yeah, same.
Take the wrong.
Oh, absolutely. I remember in the early days of Little Bird, I signed up a client, and it was all good. And it was the first termination I had to do under Little Bird, and it was interesting because I terminated clients before in my previous role, but, you know, I could always blame the director. You know, the director decided, and in this case it was like there was no one else, it was just me. So it was like, I just don't like you. This is not my vibe. And so that was really hard. Yeah. And I had sleepless nights over that for sure. Okay. But it was a good decision, and it was like the first one. So the ones after that have been a little bit easier. Yeah. Because it's like it's a risk. Yeah. You know, if they don't want to repair things, or if the property's dangerous or something, that's a risk that I'm not prepared to take. It gets easier.
Absolutely. Yeah, when you know you're doing it for the right reasons, right?
Yeah.
And also I think to your comment about the condition of the property or the state of the property, as a brand, like your brand is really well represented in the market. And so I think marketing a property that's just not great damages the brand. Yeah,
and it's and like sometimes it's not about having the perfect staged property. Like we have properties from $300 a week to $3,000 a week. So we have a very broad range, and they all get the same attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's important because, it's the same. Fundamentally, it's the same things that are needed.
Yeah.
But in terms of operational structure, over the years, I imagine you've worked in and tried lots of different ways of how the team's structured. What do you think for your business, or what do you think as an industry is the best way for a business to manage a portfolio?
Yeah, I think I've tried pod systems. I've tried a maintenance team and a arrears team. And actually, I just think having one person completely running the portfolio is best.
Yeah.
I think my clients like that approach because it's one person to deal with, one person across everything.
Yeah.
There are, I guess, some gaps where problems can arise if that person leaves or something like that. But to make it smooth, we have systems in place where the communication is transparent, and software helps with that nowadays. It's not in the property manager's head where it used to be.
Yes.
And God, it's not anymore because my memory's not that good anymore. So things are very transparent in that regard, and I think the clients like to know who they're dealing with.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think one of the biggest, like in terms of operation and how that looks now, it was very different to when I started. Obviously, it was just me, so I was doing literally everything. Yeah. And then as I got bigger, trying to work out, okay, so how are we going to manage this and keep the service up? So we did try things that were like, oh, that didn't work, and then had to fine tune. But I think now we have some really good systems that's just going to keep it rolling. Like we've got a really good training program for our new starters.
Right.
We've got fabulous onboarding for our clients, so they know right from the get-go, even though they're meeting me, I'm not going to be the person that they can come.
Right?
And it was really hard for me at the beginning to be able to let that go. I mean, I only stopped managing properties in 2024.
Yeah.
I still had a portfolio.
Yeah.
which is nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it, though? Because as PMs, even as a business owner, so often we end up still on the tools.
Yeah.
Which I think there's real merit to some degree, because it keeps us current.
It does.
But not when it takes us away from being a leader and being available and
well, our biggest growth was has been since I let go of that portfolio. Yeah. And actually it was funny because I remember writing to all the clients, and these are some clients I've had for decades, and saying, just letting you know, I'm handing over your property to Zana to be managed. And Zana had been with me for about 12 months. Yeah. And she was nervous because these were all my very special clients. And so she was like, and I had a lot of emails, that's great. But no one actually cared. Yeah. And I was kind of upset. I was like, hang on, wait, you're meant to be upset and sad and go, no, I want
Beg
you.
for me.
But it kind of reiterated, I had built the trust for a long time, and the direction that the business was going in, the clients trusted that I was making those right choices. So it was good. And now the clients, they love Sana too.
So good. Yeah. And I think that's a reflection of building a business that doesn't need you to be the point of contact. Like, that's success, right? Yeah. Like, if you had to be touching every single communication point or managing every property, we're doing something wrong as leaders.
Correct. Yeah. Like, I just had 2 weeks off in the Maldives, and Emily ran it,
So good.
and it was wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there was no dramas, and everything just ticked along.
And you had an actual break?
I did, yeah. I mean, it wasn't the ideal time to go to the Maldives, but I went for my 50th birthday, so,
So good.
Can't choose when I was born.
A great way to celebrate.
Yeah, it was good, yeah. But it was good to see that it can just work.
Yeah, that's real testament, I think, to your leadership and the work you've put in, and obviously the people that you've recruited. How do you think, though, I know a lot of, in my new model with Podium, a lot of property managers haven't had a break in years because they feel like there isn't that framework or those systems in place, and they don't have the boundaries to be able to step away and trust that things are being taken care of. How do you build that trust among your team to know that it's okay if they take a break? Because it's so important.
Well, I guess, again, I'm happy I take a break. Yeah. And it might just be an extra long weekend or a little bit longer at Christmas or something like that. But I think that if they see that I'm okay to do that and it's all good, then they can too. Yeah. And it's also encouraged. Actually, I've got one at the moment who needs to, doesn't need to, but there's a lot of leave there. It's like, okay, so, I'm good. I'm like, yeah, I know you're good, but let's have a break, you know, and go have a holiday and do some stuff and just log out, you know. And I'm really one for ensuring the team are not working outside of hours. So constantly it's 5 o'clock, it's 5 to 5, or it's, 4 to 5. We're done. Everything's done. Yeah. We're going now.
That I imagine as an industry that is so rare.
Yeah. I don't know now. I've been out. I'm just running my thing and doing it the way I think it should be done. I would hope that it's changing a little bit because, people say to me, how do you, especially people from other states, they're like, well, what about after hours? And I'm like, what about it? Yeah. People don't need you 24 hours a day. Correct. And frankly, they don't pay enough to have someone at their beck and call 24 hours a day. Yeah. So there's a process for that. But I definitely do not expect my property managers to be working outside of those core hours. So it's when I'm interviewing people, I'm saying that straight up. Good. And it's just, that's how it is. And I've actually, been known to change Outlook passwords for people on leave who I know are reading their emails. Actually, Sharon, she's on leave at the moment. She's on long service leave, so I'm about to switch hers off.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We won't tell her.
No.
No, but you're right. We get these people in our teams and our businesses that are so committed and work so hard that they sometimes do need to be forced to switch off, because I think habitually we feel like particularly when we care about our clients and our team, we feel like we always have to be on. Yeah, absolutely. But the power of switching off and that proper break is
it's key.
So
it's
important.
Key to keeping them there. Yeah. And fresh enough to keep servicing the clients well and wanting to. Yes. Get to a point where you're like, oh, God, that owner again. Yeah. Or that tenant.
The burnout.
Yeah.
It's real.
Yep. Yeah. And there's signs. Mm-hmm.
So, your business has always looked to me like an attraction business, and I imagine you've got no shortage of people lining up to want to join the team. Yeah. How do you think you've built that over the years?
Honestly, I've got no idea.
Good answer.
I actually just think that it's a very good question.
Yeah.
Since we've won a few awards in the last few years, and of late anyway, we've had a couple of people approach us that are, say junior property I hate those words, but
Less experienced
property managers who want to learn, and they see the business as a good place to learn from, which is amazing because, there is a real shortage of property managers, not just in Canberra, but all over. It's an industry people are leaving quicker than they're joining because of all those pressures that they get put under.
Yeah.
And I kind of look at it and go, well, you know what, if I can make the job fun to a certain degree.
Of course.
But it's not actually the job. The job is the job.
Yeah.
You're going to get bad situations, uncomfortable situations. But if the environment that you're dealing with those in is open and fun and a little bit like, oh, my God, ha, 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 then it's easier to do it.
Yeah, well, it looks like that from what you put on your socials, like the fun reels and the fun stories.
Yeah.
And the social events you guys do. Like, it looks like you have a lot of fun as a team.
Yeah, I think if I wasn't such an introvert, we'd be doing way more reels. But I'm not a video person, so we probably could, but we don't.
Yeah, well, it looks good.
Yeah,
You're
thank you.
well.
Yeah. And it's all done in-house, like Emily and myself and the team, we're all fully involved in what gets put up there. So we don't, a lot of people say to me, oh, who's managing your socials? No one, like it's just us. And I feel like it's really honest.
Yes.
That way.
It feels real and authentic.
Yes. We're doing it and it's not pre-recorded and it's not just, on trend. It's just honest, real, being authentic, us,
And funny.
Yeah.
They're always funny.
We're trying to be funny, yeah. There's some really funny ones.
Yeah, there are really good ones.
You should see the ones that don't make it.
Oh, gosh. Can you start posting them, like a bloopers or something?
Maybe.
Yeah, love that. So much fun. And I mean, it does. For a lot of people, it's out of their comfort zone being on camera and speaking like we were talking about earlier. But I think it's important as well because that's where, when we're talking about recruitment, that's where our property managers are looking, right? They're on the socials.
Yeah, they are.
They're scrolling.
It's that demographic. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to learn more about the Generation A.
Generation A, tell me about
Alpha?
that.
Is it the younger, like my girl's age? Okay. So 15, 16-year-old, like they'll be in the workforce soon. And they operate and think so differently to Generation X, which is me. And even the millennials, which we're all millennials except for me and Sharon in our office. And then we've got the alphas coming up. So it's like, okay, well, how are we going to make sure that we're going to get those people to come and work for me as well?
Yeah.
And so that property manager can always tick along.
Yes.
That's kind of what I'd like to see happen. I'd like to have and I do have currently a whole group of young women who are fully empowered to do well and learn as much as they can and do all their training so that, when I'm ready to retire, there's others doing it and hopefully carry on the Little Bird branding. Yeah.
So with the mind of putting ourselves in the Generation A.
I think it's A.
Yeah. What do we need to do as leaders? What does that look like?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out to make sure that I'm above it a bit. But I mean, my two girls that help me with that a lot.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're like, Mum, that is so cringe. You cannot say that. Or they say to me, oh, you're such a boomer.
Oh, gosh.
And the way I look at my phone and do things and they're like, cringe. Don't do that. Don't do that, Mum. And I think it's just staying relevant to those generational trends, so that people are not looking at the brand and going, oh, that's so old.
Yeah. So do we need to drop some slang into our emails? I don't even know
like
the words.
6, 7, I don't know.
Now we sound old.
Yeah, no, totally. My daught's watches and go, oh my God, I can't believe you did that.
I'm right here with you.
But yeah, I think it's just keeping up with, the evolving nature of how, the tech generation are going to be wanting to work.
Yeah.
Not everyone's going to be wanting to work the same way.
Yeah. But it's an interesting point because it's not just our team members, it's also our clients.
Absolutely.
Our tenants and our owners. So how are we communicating with them in a way that resonates and is relevant and meaningful? Because long emails are probably not going to be well received.
No. And I mean, I don't know about you, but I get so many chat responses to emails.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I got one the other day saying, oh, I decided to go with another agent, and it was ChatGPT, and I'm like, wow, you couldn't even be bothered to write my rejection.
I mean, it's a bit of
honestly.
a giveaway when it's like, let me know if you want me to make this sound nicer, and they copy that by mistake. Yeah, they're my favourite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, and that's, part of the challenges of moving forward with any business, and that is dealing with, and having confrontation with AI.
Yeah. Yes.
We've had a recent tribunal long case.
Yeah.
It was pretty basic, but it was dragged on for a very long time. And it was because, if you don't tell AI that you want to actually resolve the problem, it'll just keep going. Yeah. And this is what was happening.
Yeah.
So it was just going on and on and on and on with no end. It's like, hey, can you just tell chat that you want to wrap this up?
Give me an outcome.
Let's have an outcome here.
Here's a prompt for ChatGPT.
But yeah, this is some of the challenges.
Yeah. How do you think, from a property management lens with AI, how do you think, crystal ball, what the next 6 to 12 months as our industry looks like? What do you think the biggest shifts will be?
Well, I've seen and heard, AI answering phones. I mean, even if you want to book a restaurant, you talk to an AI. And look, I'm probably a little bit old school in that regard. Like, it's not something that I'm about. Like, it's not. It's like offshoring. Like, it's something that I won't do and have not done.
Yeah.
But it's there. So I guess it just depends on how, each business wants to take it on. Mm-hmm. But for Little Bird, AI is just there to potentially assist, but not drive.
For sure.
Yeah.
Smart. Yeah.
Yeah. So the team, I know they use it.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I have no issue with it. I mean, it's built into Outlook.
Yeah, exactly.
It's built into Property Me.
Yeah.
But it's not, and we talk about this a lot in the office. It's not the driver.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, so it can give you some ideas and help you fluff something or whatever.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's, you need to be authentic to be a property manager.
Agreed.
And that's just not.
And you can tell when someone's used AI.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a completely different voice.
So obvious.
Yeah.
It just doesn't sound like you.
No.
I mean, I chat responded to my daughter once, and she was like, "I can't believe you use chat." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, lesson learned."
Busted.
Yeah, busted.
Love it.
But yeah, so it's there to assist.
Yeah.
I think, and if ever and my team, that's what I'll be how I'll be playing it.
Yeah.
It's not driving it though.
Yeah. I'd like to think AI will enable us to remove the repetitive, predictable, mundane tasks from the role, which will free up, if people use offshore, to be upskilled to do what then becomes the lower level tasks of PM, to free up the PM to really focus on relationships. Like, I'd love if we see that evolution. And for those that aren't using offshore, we skip that bit and instead the PM is straight away in that position.
Yeah.
Because I think when we talk about the downward pressure on fees and increasingly complex legislation, the relationship piece is probably more relevant and critical, I think, than ever.
Oh, absolutely. Like, you can't take the person out of property management because there's other people involved. Yeah. And even, I mean, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of offshoring.
Yeah.
Because I think it's important that the property managers are across what the client is going to want.
Yeah.
When there's gaps, when it's like, well, you've got someone overseas answering, it's obvious as well. And there's gaps because they don't actually know. They're just following a checklist of what to do. I just think that's really impersonal.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan, and it has its place, and I get it. But it's also, I think, important for the property manager to know everything that's going on and also understand the client better.
Yeah.
And they can't do that when someone else is doing part of the job.
Yeah. It makes perfect sense. It's all about building trust in those touch points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even the mundane tasks, they have a place, and the client appreciates it if you're the one sending the statement.
Yeah.
Just little things.
Yeah.
And then know that they're there and they're listening.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Talk to me about your values.
Probably honesty.
Yeah.
I mean, probably a bit boring, but
not at all.
100% couldn't mislead or lie or embellish if I tried. Just not in me.
Yeah.
I lead that way. And integrity, as well. I guess I always want to do the best, and I want to be the best as well. And that's changed. Be the best has changed over the years.
For sure.
You obviously want to be the best mum and the best wife, and you want to be the best property manager. And now it's more about me being the best at building the team. And making them feel like they can then do that themselves.
I love that. And so what does, I guess, success look like in the next 2-3 years at Little Bird? What does success look like for you?
I think it's probably growing the team and empowering them even more. We've got a couple of newbies that have just started. So, that first 2 years is really critical learning for them, and it's make or break. So I'd love to see them really, lock in. And then obviously bring in some new ones as well.
Yeah, great. So sustainable success.
And just I'm always 1 to 2 people ahead of what's required.
Smart.
And I think you need to be.
Yeah. We spoke in the last episode of Collab with the girls from Someday, Grace and Jess, and talking about recruiting before you need people.
Absolutely.
Because you get people on leave, you get people sick, you get people leaving, and having that redundancy I think is critical to ensure culture continues.
Yeah, absolutely. And you just can't have that downtime. There's just no gaps for it. And the industry or the role is pretty unforgiving. You miss one inspection, it's not good.
No.
There's so many repercussions from that. So I think having more staff is way better.
Smart.
I mean, from a dollar perspective, it's probably, not overly,
Sure.
But it's not all about that.
Yeah. If you look at that in isolation, absolutely. If you look at it holistically.
Because it adds pressure on the team. If someone leaves and they're managing more properties and there's more problems and everyone's a bit more stressed, it's just not worth it.
Compounds, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'd rather pay the extra up front and
absolutely.
the rest flow.
Yeah, that's right.
What are you most proud of in your career?
Probably, obviously, Little Bird. I'm really proud of it.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of how it's evolved and grown, and I'm really proud of the people that are in it.
Yeah.
Most of them have started from scratch, and watching them now just navigate the job and, the problems that can come up pretty much independently I'm really proud of that.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's amazing. My last question for you, bit of a deep question, but you talked earlier about the future and retirement and being able to have the business continue on successfully. I mean, you've been in the industry 23?
I think it's 25.
25 years.
So, well, actually, no, wait, 23. I was 27 when I started. I'm 50 now. So.
Yeah. Having been in the industry for 23 years and done lots of remarkable, amazing things and continuing to do those things, when you, at some stage in the future, do step away from it and retire and spend more time in the Maldives, what legacy do you hope to leave behind for your team in the industry?
I know, that's so deep.
I know, sorry. I did pre-frame that it was deep. But I'm curious.
Little Bird in itself is its own thing outside of me.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Okay. I don't look at Little Bird as being about Heidi Rosin. Little Bird is about making property management stand on its own and be successful in its own right. So I guess that's a legacy enough.
Yeah, it's a huge legacy.
Rather than it being about me, it's more about that can be done.
Yeah. Great answer.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Okay.
And you should be so proud of that. As I've said, just in awe of your business and what you've achieved and the team that you've built. And I think I'm so pleased that we have operators like you in Canberra and in the industry because it just lifts the standard for the rest of us.
Yeah. I try, and like I said, it's just something I've always had a passion about, and I'm always willing to help others. And, there's just run your own race is sort of some advice. Yeah.
Good advice. Well, thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you.
Hopefully it wasn't too painful.
No, it was just ignore the cameras.
And the microphone in your face.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I hope you got some stuff out of it.
I mean, that was great.
Yeah.